you here at MyTech with us. Cheer for your respective teams and give them the support they need. Here we go in the Land of Dawn.
Here we go into the Land of Dawn, and need we remind you, this is going to be a best of 5, and whoever can carry it on in this series is going to keep prevailing in the tournament, but whoever doesn't will fall. And now we can see here on screen, it is going to be the Akai in that jungle position onto Gear.
Certainly a little bit unusual for Evos SG, but a very solid pick overall. Going to be able to scale up very quickly, hit that level 4, which is what Evos SG desperately needs in order to make sure they keep Omega at bay. In the early game, all of these tankier heroes on the side of Omega are definitely going to have the advantage, not to mention the Natalia being played by Chak Nu.
Yeah, and if we know the Natalia used on their side, they're definitely going for the backline. They know that Adamir and Sayla are their key conditions to win this game, and definitely going to look to shut that down. You can already see rotating downwards, potentially to help out Nick.
There has to be a little bit more emphasis, but wait a minute, E2 Max here gets a little chunked. They're still trading blows here in that mid side, but yes, as I was saying, there needs to be a little bit more emphasis onto Kellera. I think if you let him just scale into that late game, we've seen how much destruction that it can entail. I mean, already a Maniac coming in from Lemon from the side of RQ on this hero, and that is where Chak Nu needs to help out, especially like prevent that damage from happening, but
that's what he's trying to do, pulling out the aggression onto Sayla here, but he retreats just in time to prevent any further aggression. Although the turtle is spawning in about 10 seconds, so Evos SG does need to start looking at this objective.
Omega already in position down there. It's going to be the turtle pit next to the EXP lane, and since Renzio is obviously ahead of Nick right now, already hitting level 4 on that Masha, it's going to be much easier for Omega here, not to mention Chak Nu continuing to be annoying in the mid lane to just zone them out.
Yeah, and some aggression here onto Renzio, putting out the damage, but it's not enough. Ryzen's still going to take the first turtle off the game, going the way of Omega. I think Evos actually tried to maybe make a play here in the mid side, but still had to give away that objective.
Really disciplined plays coming in from Omega, a little different to what we're accustomed to. We see them make small mistakes in that early game that eventually cost them the game, but here we go, another pickoff.
Oh, stunned out. Nick has to burn the flicker to be able to get away from this. Gear is here with the heavy spins, hitting Ryzen to the wall. He takes a lot of damage from the turret as well, and will they be able to secure it? It is JPL that ends up with the first blood.
Caster curse.
Not exactly ideal for first blood to go to JPL. Under those circumstances, I think Evos could have held on just a little bit longer to give the kill over to a core, but still, first blood is first blood, and that's a good catch from the heavy spin. Gear instantly using that momentum to actually go into Omega's jungle.
Yeah, Adamir actually trying to take this, still does. Chak Nu just, puts out some disruption here, but here, I think he managed to steal that buff there.
Yeah, it does seem like he does. He did lose that retribution battle in that turtle pit, but he is trying to look for some compensation on the board, and that is going to be the case. As we're going to take a little look into the emblems here, I don't think there's anything quite unusual. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it is pretty default emblem sets coming out from all the players here. Nothing too out of the ordinary. JPL though going specifically for the pull yourself together here to make sure that he can stay alive. But now the heavy spin from Gear onto Kellera, gonna be pushing him out of position, and now he's the one in danger from the heavy crossbow as the Aerotail picks up the kill.
That was so
a little bit aggressive there, I guess, and didn't manage to secure the field, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was really hard to see. I mean, okay, I guess they were trying to look for a pick on the board, but what happened to Chak Nu there? He gets picked off as well. So trades are happening all across the board. It does seem like Omega is slightly leading in economy, but it's not too comfortable. And Evos, they are going to have to wait on this next objective because it is going to be Omega picking up that second turtle.
Yep, really good objective prioritization by Omega here. They know the turtle is coming up. Because of that, they did end up putting Chak Nu up in the top lane. I don't think he was expecting to get sniped in the bush by Adamir, but not too much harm done here. In terms of the items, obviously still quite early in the game. Nothing completed just yet, but Adamir going to actually skip his boots upgrade to go straight for that BOD.
More damage.
Yeah, more damage. And I think it's also because, Kellera has already secured the Windtalker and probably trying to play catch up a little here. Gear, though, deep in the jungle, getting aggressed on by Renzio. Nothing much will happen. He is still Akai, so pretty tanky.
Okay, and we're gonna see what happens here. How are they going to be picking off from this? Because for the moment, Omega is able to just secure all the objectives on the board. They do have, from the side of Evo Singapore, a little bit of more pickoffs, 2-1, but they haven't been able to translate that. So that's something that they really need to consider. And it's quite difficult as Omega is going to be able to scale into that really late game, especially with that Irithel still just vying for more gold.
But the same can be said for Omega and Evos SG. They both do actually want to scale for that late game. Even though Omega so far has both turtles, Evos is actually even in terms of net worth, so it's not too big of a deal. But Sayla, nearly getting taken out before the Black Shoes gets popped, will be able to run away from Ryzen and E2 Max, as now the rest of the team is coming in for backup gear. Gonna find Chaknu, not able to push into the tower, but is good enough. Natalia gonna get picked off. JPL using the flicker to escape from Omega.
Ooh, that was so good. I mean, Gear recognized that opportunity and went in on it. Sailor, though, in some trouble, gets bursted down by Kelra here in the mid lane, and now they get this turret completely for free.
Now there it is. There is the Omega that we've been looking for. The pickoffs on the board, the objective. They're so good at being so disciplined. They want to focus on these objectives, and that's exactly what they're going to do. But here, Renzio,
Some trouble here, trying to make his way out to escape E2 Max, fronting some of the damage. Nick has to flicker out, taking too much on his life, and JPL now the next target. Ryzen, he uses his opportunity to secure the turtle for themselves. Now that's 3-0 objectives in favor of Omega.
Omega continuing to maintain their map control here, recognizing the timers on the objectives. You can see that just the way they played and rotate around the map, they're paying a lot of attention to when these turtles will respawn so that they are in better position to take it. Gear now in trouble though, heavy spin has to be used to escape. They still get it, killing spree going over to Kelra.
yeah, it is going to be Gear here getting caught off here for the second time. And it actually is going to be JPL being very pressured there in that bottom side. But now Omega, with all that said and done, they are going to be pushing those waves in the top side. They are leading with a 1,300 gold lead. And Evo Singapore still struggling to look for something across the board.
And I think Changnu has just picked out the Blade of Hephaestus as well, so he's going to be able to output so much damage if he catches Sayla or Adamir in either of their lanes. So far, Omega has been super disciplined, like you mentioned, Eterna, converting these kills into objectives. Even though they're even across the board, Omega has a lot more control. And right now, Nick in some trouble getting ganked on the top side, but they respond. Gear is here to help, so they don't aggress any much further.
We can see that Omega definitely upping the momentum. They know right now that Kelra is in a very comfortable spot. The Irithel 3-0 KDA, and we already know that Kelra can farm very, very quickly. So this is going to be a problem for Evos SG very soon, which is why Omega is just distracting them for as long as possible. As long as their attention is on them, it's not going to be on their marksman.
Yeah, they're rotating once again to the bottom side. So they are the ones siding the tempo for the side of Evos. And Evos are only left to respond. But now Sayla here might be a little bit in trouble. But luckily there is backup and they don't want to commit onto this just yet. But you can see the pressure once again happening in that top side. Masha is just getting all those chunky turrets and health here as Adamir is going to be taking his dear time with 1-0-0 KDA here in the 8th, 9th minute. We need to see him scale a little bit into his next extra items to definitely see the potential that he can have when it comes down to that mid-game.
Yeah, and compared to, I mean, 1-0-0 you mentioned, but on the other hand, Kelra is 3-0-0 as well. So in the late game, this is looking pretty bad for them.
Yeah, definitely. This is not where Evos wants to be right now, but a 2k gold difference at this stage of the game is not actually too bad. They just need to be able to regain momentum. Adamir gonna take the tier 1 tower down bottom. Gear, he's thinking about it. He wants to go for that heavy spin, but it's a bit difficult on Renzio. Both teams are squaring up to take this Lord around the Lord pit.
Yeah, just baiting it out at this moment. Evos SG taking the position, but Chaknu though in the back line looking to see if he can make a play. Gear goes ahead to start out the fight here. Heavy spin to zone them out, but has to back away. They don't know where Chaknu is. They have to be careful, but Nyx takes too much damage, and in the back line they find Adamir. Chaknu gets a kill onto him. Sayla running for his life, but Kelra manages to secure that as well. 2 down on the side of Evos SG, split up completely by Omega.
That was just so well played, so well executed by the side of Omega. They were able to bait here to be able to, look for some initiative. He gets caught out, they retreat, but unfortunately their positioning was not on point, and Adamir was able to be taken down in the process. And the whole time that Evo Singapore was trying to set up for that Lord, unfortunately, Natalia Chaknu was able to go up into that and manipulate the waves and actually take a turret in the top side.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that observation there. Omega was definitely controlling that fight to make sure that the important cooldowns on the side of Evos were expended before they tried to go on the Lord. E2 Max now already doing a fair amount of damage, stole the black shoes, so able to escape. Heavy spin wasted again from the side of Evos SG.
This is tough, right? I mean, Heavy Spin is a huge ultimate, and it's one of their only, except for Circling Eagle, kind of engages that Evos SG can use to make a play here. But it's looking difficult as the top side, the Lord is marching down now. They're looking to crash down on the inhibitors. Not going to be able to take one down just yet.
Yeah, not just yet. Still with a 6,000, almost 7,000 gold lead, Omega, they are sitting quite comfortably, almost at 10,000 as well. It is going to be still them being shut down into their own base, but Omega, it doesn't seem they want to go for something crazy. They don't want to make a mistake at this time, understanding that it can be taken back from them, as Adamir here is already, let's see his items here, 2 items in the game, but it's still not enough.
Yeah, if you compare Adamir over to the side of Kelra there, he just completed his Haas Claws, already 4 items. Gear using the heavy spin here for basically no reason. Chaknu able to escape, so Omega gonna have a lot of window of opportunity once again.
Yeah, definitely looks, Adamir doesn't really have as much items here as Kelra, so it's gonna be a tough one. And the thing is, Chaknu has been so annoying. Evos SG, they have to look out for him in these team fights, even if they want to engage as well. How are they looking to take these ones?
Yeah, that's going to be the huge question here. It does seem they are still trying to manipulate the waves here on all 3 lanes, trying to, just asphyxiate, prevent anything from scaling from the side of Evo Singapore. But at this stage, what are the winning conditions from Evo Singapore?
Right now, they definitely need to play around Adamir. Yes, he's 2 items behind Kelra, but Wesker does still do a lot of damage at this point. The problem is, it's very difficult to catch any of the members of Omega right now, even if they do happen to be able to protect the Beatrix well enough. Renzio, Ryzen, they're not going to die very easily, and E2 Max and Kelra are not going to put themselves in a very vulnerable position.
Oh, they find Gear in the jungle here, and he tries to make his way out. Is he going to survive? I think he does live to see another day for now. So Evos SG survived this, but this is untimely. 7 seconds, the next Lord is going to be up.
At this stage, Evo Singapore, they're scared, right? Even if they want to go for individual plays, try and split up the map, it's difficult because they don't know where Chaknu is. But that fact can be taken into the hands of Omega, and you can see the way that they're just manipulating the waves from all 3 lanes. Oh my god, but wait a minute.
Renzio finds Sayla as well as Adamir in the backline. They heal up just fine now, but this is the pressure, Zaffa, that you talked about. Yes, Chaknu isn't there, but here is Renzio also able to make it all the way into the backline.
Yep, if we look at the overall team composition as well from Omega, as compared to Evos SG, they really do need to be fighting as a 4 or 5-man death ball, whereas on the side of Omega, pretty much all of their heroes are capable of holding their own. Even Kelra on the Irritel, thanks to that sprint, should be able to 1v1, 1v2 basically anyone on Evos SG, putting them in a very difficult situation because it is so easy for Omega to just split push all the waves due to their increased mobility and overall lineup durability as well.
Man,
yeah.
Chaknu goes in for that BOD, Scrubby. What is that? Like, you already have so much pressure, so much pickup potential, and you have to give more damage to that?
Yeah, looking at the damage charts, the gold right now, he is, well, somewhere in the middle, but that's gonna even, that's so hard for Evos SG. BOD on a Natalia. If he catches any of them in the backline, that's basically a dead Sayla or Adamir.
The Lord already taking down the top inhibitor as Renzio jumps onto Adamir in the backline just to zone him out. Nick is forced to defend the bottom side as Gear taking a lot of damage. Black Shoes already expended as well. The minion wave will be taken out, but Nick doesn't have enough wave clear speed. He will just barely preserve the bottom inhibitor. And now Evos SG want to look for the re-engage, but Kelra, he's got a lot of damage. Heavy crossbow already popped down. Gear looking for the heavy spin, but not finding any chances to use it.
That's also the thing about the side of Omega, right? With Kalra on that sprint, it's so difficult to catch him out. The only thing you have is a Circling Eagle and a heavy spin, but so far they've also been using some of that defensively, and it's been tough to engage in or disengage from these team fights.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's no one from the side of Evo Singapore who could actually catch them at face value, but actually here,
Gets E2 Max here. He is stunned out and pinned to the wall. Gets that first kill secured now, and now they are looking to re-engage Omega though on the aggression. Adamir in some trouble. Man, it has to be taken down by Chaknu here. They trade out 2 for 1 now, and Evos SG actually coming on top of this, aggressing onto Ryzen. Is he going to be able to get out? Pops the shoot Unity and will be able to retreat.
oh, and what initially was, what, 8,000 gold lead, almost a 10,000 gold lead, has actually shrunken to 6,000 here in the 16th minute. And it does seem like Evo Singapore, with that win, they want to push the tempo once again.
Yep.
Oh, Renzio dives in with the backline onto Sailor though. Gear with the heavy spin pins him down, manages to peel off for him now, and they safely, I think, no, actually don't disengage. Changnu with the burst damage onto Sailor, secures that kill.
A little bit of over-aggression by Evos SG after their previous victory. We do actually have to be very careful in this team. We already know that they were able to drag out the game to an insane length previously against RRQ and claim victory after that. Omega still needs to be careful, but Ryzen now going to be engaged on by 4 members of Evos SG. They managed to pick him up. Renzio jumping onto Adamir, and E2 Max picks up the kill on the Beatrix. Here comes Kilra though with heavy crossbow, heavy spin, not going to matter as instantly the remaining members of Evos SG are decimated by the Irritel.
Oh no, this is not good. Nearly a wiped out here for the side of Omega. And now with the space with only 1 member remaining, they will be able to get this Lord uncontested. 2, 3 members down. Will they be able to defend?
I mean, at this rate, it doesn't seem like it. And now look at the damage output onto Gear here. He's just melted completely by Kalra with nowhere to go. Changnu comes in, and the burst is enough to take down Sailor once again. It's a complete wipeout on the side of Evos SG. JPL is back, the only one standing together with Adamir, but the Lord is coming up the top side.
That's just rough for Evos there. For a moment, it did look like they had the opportunity, and it was a good engage, but Kelra just has way too much damage. And now, Luminous Lord gonna be pushing up the top lane.
Oh, I don't know if they can defend this. Kelra, the Filipino savage, he's going right for it and dishing out all the damage. Nick sacrifices his life to be able to protect it, but at what cost? It's gonna be the core taken down by Omega, securing their